You're listening to Middays with Marcus Maben, broadcasting live from the OPC Pest Services studio on 93.9 The Ville. Now, here's Marcus Maben and Steve Rummage.
Welcome back. It's Midday with Marcus Maben. 8150 93.9 is the number. 93.9 is the station. People were rolling along. We got the YouTube channel up and rolling. It's funny, we get messages like this. Love to see you guys' facial expressions when you're talking and listening to each other.
I know.
You can tell you're both excited.
I know.
Right? The people, we wanted to give you that because, like I say, every day in the studio, it's like an absolute party. It always gets all hot in here because, like I said, we're just too much energy working. And people, how many times does how many innings does your air conditioning system have left in it? You're about to find out. Because it's like Indian summertime. I don't know if we can use that term now, but you get the point. They're fast, they're good, and they're reliable. And if you need to go to the bullpen for a new system, it's a great time to buy a Train Comfort system from DFH this month only. You can get a 15-month special financing on qualified Train Comfort systems. It's hard to stop a train, so call DFH 968-6222 or look them up online at dfhcompany.com. Visit dfhcompany.com for complete program eligibility dates, details, and restrictions subject to credit approval.
Let's pull back the curtain a little bit.
Indeed.
You ever have moments at work, your place of work, where you feel like the boss, like you feel like you've made some noise, you know, and you're like, the boss knows who I am, different stuff like that.
Yes. Everybody has had that moment.
You know, where you're like, yeah. But then you have the moment where you're like, the boss really don't think about me very much, I don't think. Let me pull back this. So my boss comes in the studio. Congratulations, Steve, on the new baby. Hey, what did you have? Oh boy, don't you first, second? Well, second, boss.
Because we talk about it all the time.
I mean, hey, what's your first one? You don't even know me, dude.
Do you know? Hey, I'm Steve Rummage. Nice to meet you.
Steve Rummage. Been here for 3 years.
Yeah.
It's good to, hey.
Look, been with the Station 5.
Yeah. Mr. Diener, it's nice to meet you. Steve Rummage. Hey, been with the Station for 5, been doing Marcus for 3. A big time, long time fan of the show. I enjoyed your stuff back in the back in with the other station. I've listened to you for a while. There's a lot going on.
So you just had that moment. So listen.
Yeah.
I thought you were going the other way with that because listen, we all know he has an affinity for gambling, and I thought you made it because it's like y'all are actually talking sports gambling, and
we were, and I'm up $50. I'm like, yes, I'm like, man, I've got it in. Like, I just want approval. You know what I'm saying?
And
you just want the boss to say, hey, Steve, good job. That's fine. It's okay. No, I appreciate it though. It was nice. Come on.
James, no, I don't think we're doing a pregame show on Saturday because we'll be at the stadium.
Well, we're not, but
yeah.
But
James, if you are looking for a pregame show,
Louisville looks to bounce back on Saturday night. You can tell when we start to read stuff, can you not?
No, that's important. People, Miller Lite likes they don't like us freestyling, even though we're good at it. Eminem style freestyle.
Louisville looks to bounce back on Saturday night. I want to talk about that. When the Cards host Indiana State, and the most post game coverage is right here on ESPN Louisville. Join Mark Ennis Saturday night from 5 to 7. For the Miller Lite pregame show live from Caboose number 5. And then directly following the game, it's the Miller Lite postgame show. We're the first place where we'll take your calls. You can hear from Bobby Petrino as well as sound from the locker room, and it's all only on 93.9 The Ville. And Mark, listen to Mark's pregame show too, because that man's sacrificing the pregame meal. You know what I'm saying? Like, that pregame meal's legit. And I always see Mark coming in, and he's good at what he does, and he comes in as the meal is I've already ate 2 plates full, and I've already dapped up my dude that cuts the meat and stuff, and I'm like, hey, dude. And he's always he's my dude.
Learn his name. It's almost funner not knowing his name.
No, it is, because when I come up every year, I come up and he's like, oh, big man. He's like, I got you. He goes, I know you want.
It really is fun, people. Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, thanks, man. So, but yeah, and then
Steve and I are still considered the hood version of media.
Oh, sure.
Is that fair enough?
Oh, we are 100%. We are Compton in that place, man. We got our little spot on the end at football and basketball.
Right.
Kenny so gracefully puts us, right there and graciously. And, we're total Compton, man.
Let me get to the Bill Escorn
I'm wearing a hat.
Sons. I know.
Like, dude, y'all know what it is. Just,
and they know what it is.
I'm not trying to take your stupid jobs. Okay, I'll enjoy what I do. I don't want to do all this professional stuff. And I'm calling it stupid. Not that the jobs are stupid.
Right.
That I'm not capable of doing the pro stuff. So y'all just let me sit over here. Well, I'm no threat.
You're driving down your value.
Yeah.
Stop it right now.
I talk crap about you. I'm gonna
cut you off.
No, I'm gonna be mayor one day, and then I'm gonna have them all fired. But as far as their jobs,
you just want to leapfrog the whole system, man.
I'm going to one day.
Ralph, thanks for joining us on 93.9, my man. Fire away.
How y'all doing today?
Good.
Well, I'm old school, okay? Mm-hmm. But the thing is, Snellenberger, when he was here, there was three things you got to have to be a good team. You got to have size, heart, and guts. Louisville has the size, but they don't have the other two.
Are you sure about that?
Yes.
Because?
They showed against Alabama, they quit.
I don't know. I think we'll find out. To your point, Ralph.
I appreciate the call.
Yeah, I appreciate the call. I think I agree with Ralph and don't. I agree with him on the fact that we can find that out. There's the boss again. It's good to see you.
Hey, introduce yourself next time, Steve.
He's like, yeah, cool.
Hey, Steve Rumch.
Yeah. He's like, yeah. Hey, he goes back there and tells
Steve
Nate Huber.
Hey, Rummer.
He goes, I guarantee he's going back to tell Nate Huber right now. Who's the guy in the booth with Marcus?
He actually sounds kind of decent.
Why is he wearing a hat?
He's an Adidas sponsor. Okay, to Ralph's point.
No, to Ralph's point, though, I think that you can find that out in games like Indiana State, who has some stuff like that. But I just totally disagree with the notion that they quit. I really do.
Here's the thing. Great teams can make you look ineffective.
Sure.
A boxer whose hands drop in a fight is not a quitter. Mm-hmm. He is tired. No. He is trying to figure out a way to win. He is getting tagged. His hands come down because he's protecting his stomach now, right? You don't consider the tired boxer a quitting boxer, right? Even though his punches become weaker, his speed slows down. You get punished into, it's not a weak mentality. You're just not as good of a team. You don't have the same level of consistent athlete. You're much more tired than these fresh bodies that are coming in. That's what, listen, tired teams that are outmatched look that way. That's not a sign of not having heart. And be careful. Be careful. You have to be careful with that statement. Even speaking of Drew said it this morning. I'm squeamish about saying things like you're not tough.
Yeah.
And you don't have any heart. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
sure.
Be careful. I'm just saying that to anybody, not you in particular, Ralph, but be careful when you say somebody doesn't have any heart. You're not a Division I football player starter without any heart.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen. So when you say heart and guts, be careful with that one.
Yeah, that's kind of my point. Now, I think you can find things like that out over the next couple weeks. You can find out who does. Now, but I don't say it as a team. That's the other thing I don't like to say. When you say the team,
right?
Maybe there is a guy or two on the team that don't have it,
right? Yeah. And if
one guy can make the whole team look.
Yes,
Devontae Fields not grabbing Cook on that one play
turned into the entire season.
Made the whole defense look like crap.
Yep.
Yeah.
One middle linebacker goes up kind of half-heartedly for a hit. Damian Harris is running an 80-yard touchdown up the middle.
Yep. Sure.
Oh, they all quit. No, everyone else was blocked up, or they did their responsibility. They plugged up their gaps. One guy didn't take on the block and attack the hole. That guy that I talked about on that jet sweep that didn't take on the pulling guard, when he moves out the way, it opens up a complete tunnel.
Yeah.
He doesn't crash into his man. You can say one person, and then they jog the rest of the way to the end zone.
And for instance, Kamari Everett catches a touchdown pass, first touchdown of the day. You're already at that point. What was it, 28-7?
Yep.
He spikes the ball. And now, of course, you get a couple people spiking the ball.
I knew that was coming too. Yeah, try to score your first touchdown.
Against
Alabama.
Yeah, my point is that's not a quit, and then that wasn't even a scored on you spike.
Yeah.
Let's
go.
That's and it's a respect spike, man. I'm sorry, but
I'm still fighting.
No, and it's a respect to Bama. It's a good team, man. I just put it in the end zone on you. You know what I'm saying? And that's why nobody from Alabama, no player that really knew the game took that.
You know what I hate too, speaking of? When you say he scored against second stringers. What do you think a team full of second stringer Alabama
but spent the whole season talking about how Alabama's second string's so great.
Right.
But
when you score in the second stringers.
And he didn't. Nick Saban's trying to figure out his roster.
The same way.
Yeah, the same way. Did Tua play Tua play all the way up until midway through the fourth quarter when they put in Blake Barnett or whatever the kid's name is?
Back to our team.
Yeah.
We cut in the commercial break. We kind of cut out the conversation. I wanted to keep this show football centric. Again, I made it a point to do that today, people. 8150 939 is the number. 3831 939 is the station. Because listen, our thing is sports, man, not sports narratives. That's why we don't spend our day running through Nike conversation or something like that. We actually like the sport, right?
Yeah.
Running back situation. I didn't get a chance to talk about it to you. You weren't really here when we had the show.
Right.
Bobby Petrino, listen, I'll give you a chance to take the obligatory bow that we like to do here on this show when we tell you something, and then somebody who's very smart or who you consider smarter than us repeats the same thing. Bobby Petrino says in his postgame, and not his postgame, his Monday conference, we got to find out who the running back is. You and I angered the fan base by being critical of the running back situation. Hey, guys, take it easy. They're trying. We said, yes, he's trying. He's not your guy.
Yeah.
Bobby says, we got to find out who our running back is.
Absolutely.
The very next day, we got to find out who our running back is.
Yep.
How do you find out? How does Steve Rummage find out who his running back is with this team? Because I got to say, Texter said it, and I said it. I'm comfortable that the passing game can be worked out with aggression, toughness, based on how you come off the line.
Yeah.
Pops sent me a message and said, listen, we didn't do a good job, getting off that line.
Uh-huh.
You weren't physical enough off that line.
Right.
We can work on that over here.
Yeah.
The running back situation is a little different. You can't really drill work that one, right?
No.
So now, how does Steve Rummage determine who's the running back against, let's just say if you had one game against Indiana State to determine who your starting running back would be, how would you do that?
I'd watch the line. I would say I'm gonna give different reps, and I'm gonna give each running back. Running back's got to have time to get in the groove. But I'm going to see who, when I watch the line, I'm going to see who the line opens up for. I'm going to see who.
Wait a minute. So you're saying personality-wise, you think the line is more confident in certain running backs?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's a great point.
Yeah, I do, because I think certain running backs, linemen, you feel more comfortable. And even playing tight end throughout, I blocked a lot. I mean, it's basically an outside tackle.
Did you hate blocking, Steve?
Yeah, of course. but I also knew that was I was 4'7", 5".
You have to be a big time blocker.
Yeah, I'm 260. Like, I'm gonna get a scholarship from blocking, not from putting it in from 80.
Gates.
Yeah. So like I knew.
Tony Gonzalez.
Yeah. But there's different guys that you get a feel for, you get a groove for, and you say, okay, this guy, like, I trust he hits the hole at this point. You get in a rhythm, And for me, that's where I'm watching. Like I said, so
That's
personality, yeah, to an extent too. I think who does the line, you could say that. And if there is a guy that just stands out that the line is just really down for, and they're like, this guy. Also, my other thing is who gives me another option? Who's a guy? I need the guy that I can put in different situations. I need the guy that I'm totally comfortable with if I'm running a 2-minute offense.
But is that Bobby's style? Like he's such a personnel grouping guy, which another thing you want to say, like people, if you want to talk football and if you want to sound smart talking football, you can say something like, hey, Bobby's a personnel specific coach, which means it's harder to get everybody lined up when he's so many different personnels for so many different situations for putting people in the right places. Like you're not making excuses by saying this is what he does. You a slow starting team because you have to learn these things.
Well, and it's harder to and that goes back to where you talk about too. When has Bobby ever had a guy at running back? Okay, your immediate reaction is Mike Bush. Go look at the roster when Mike Bush was on the team. Like Mike Bush, yes, obviously stood out. Mike Bush, the best running back on the team. Okay, yeah. Right. So I'm going like Drew likes to say, I'm going 0 to Mike Bush.
Right.
But when Mike Bush was on the team, I mean, Colby Smith was on the team. Eric Shelton at one point. Well, I'm gonna jump ahead of the Eric Shelton year because I'm going for the year where Mike Bush was clearly the starter. Yeah. But even then, go back and look how good Mike Bush was when he was on the team with guys like Eric Shelton and never was the starter. It's tough in a Bobby Petrino system with the way he does things.
Does he sub too much?
No, no, because Bobby is very good.
I'd be so angry if I was him. If I substitute you in and you tap dance into that line, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like maybe he just gets so frustrated with tap dancers, and Michael Bush wasn't a tap dancer.
No, he was anything.
He was decisive.
And maybe to answer your original question, maybe I'm just looking at who takes it.
Because he did say that he opened the season saying who takes that first snap, who runs out there and controls the reps in practice.
Yeah, so who takes it all week in practice, and then who goes into that game?
Why did Bobby say Day didn't run like Day? Day Williams.
Man, that's one where I hate to do this because you want to sound smart and you want to always have the answer as a radio host. I don't know. That's a Bobby thing. Bobby obviously seen something there that I didn't. I don't know. I thought Day did okay. I thought the Day was falling forward.
I thought he was falling forward.
Yeah, but I don't watch Day Williams every day. I don't know what Bobby. I don't critiquing. Bobby is a master at critiquing the
uncritiquable.
Yes, and
right.
So I don't. That's a big Bobby question there, man. And my thing is, maybe it's the guy who, when the first hand touches him, says no, like this is my job. This is my job.
Like I don't know. Again, this is me wondering. This is me totally wondering, because outside of it being criticism, you just have to wonder where are similarities here. And I say he loves speed. Mm-hmm. He loves open space. Are these guys open space runners? The reason Lamar broke so many long ones and not being the fastest guy on the field, people were fast as Lamar.
Yeah.
But he always got vertical.
Well, yeah, definitely.
He got vertical more than anybody. Lamar Jackson wasn't get inside, make one move and then head to the sideline.
Yeah.
He was always looking to turn it upfield, right? So when we look at these running backs, me personally, right, the guy who gets into open space,
yeah,
and the guy who turns it upfield the quickest is the guy who plays for me.
Well, that's Colin Wilson.
Because what I'm saying is he.
No, I know. I just threw my 2 cents in there. Yeah. Colin Wilson's that guy. I think Colin Wilson's the guy that is your best.
Looks to be vertical.
He looks to be vertical. Hassan Hall is probably your best vertical guy, but I don't know.
Is he big enough to handle?
You're not giving the ball to Hassan Hall 15 times. You're not. I think he's a situational
too
guy.
Small.
Yeah, well, he's George Stripling. Probably better. But I think
run, though.
he can. But Cole,
is he elusive?
I mean, he looked pretty good against Alabama, So, but for me, it's Colin Wilson. He's the one.
How about this?
Dave Williams looks the best. he's the I can't call it. I'm not calling him sexy, but you get what I'm saying. He's the sexiest. As far
Steve,
as
don't get squeamish now.
The guy who
I spent yesterday talking about. I'm going to be looking at butts of basketball players the entire season.
Absolutely fair. Which is why I'm squatting, getting ready for the.
See what I'm saying?
Getting ready for the camp.
You see what I'm saying? See what he does to the show? We're in here. We're rolling along. I'm getting ready to ask Steve a great we are made for the Ville question.
Yes.
And then you do that. But I'm not going to chase that stick off the porch.
That's fine. You don't have to.
Yet.
Yeah. MVP on the way.
Personally, Mr. Neely says, personally, don't think Bobby wanted to show the depth of running back or the full playbook against Alabama. Now, what if Bobby Petrino saw what I saw on that power option? What if he saw it and instead of yelling at Brian Van Gorder, just saying, dude, those were it's almost like a preseason game where you put your starters in and really go for it for about a quarter.
Yeah.
Just to know what you got. And said, you know what? This is not going to be. I mean, we're going to fight to win. We're going to worry about executing. But what if something slowed him down a little bit on his running back depth and his play calling? Is that possible?
I mean, play calling maybe, because I think in the second half, once the game is clearly out of hand.
You go back to working, executing simple things.
Well, and you're trying to get young guys in there because you forget the experience. Louisville may beat Clemson because of the experience guys got in the second half against Alabama.
Somebody yelled out, and to Rob's point, somebody yelled out to me either on the phone or whatever. But I remember hearing, why hasn't Bobby tried any trick plays yet? So this point he's making kind of leads to that one. Say maybe you just figure, hey, I'm tucking the stuff away. Because here's the thing. When it's 21-7 or it's 28-7, right? Man, they gave up that kickoff return. Oh, my God. Was that not the most deflating moment you ever had in your life, Steve?
Yeah. That was the first.
Brian, you're back there bored. What were you thinking? Tell me right now on this microphone. Tell everybody right now. This is the world of Brian. What are you thinking when the University of Louisville scores that touchdown and then gives up that kick return for the touchdown against Alabama? Oh, my God, my stomach is turning.
I remember all the time in basketball when we used to nail a three and then Peyton Siva or Russ Smith would get a foul. And then I remembered how good that team was, and I remembered how everything would be okay.
Wow. That was a lot more positive. I looked at my son and was like, son, they're good.
Yeah,
oh, my God.
But I like your way a lot better. That was actually really good. It's like, you know what?
You get that moment, you're like, yes, we did good. And you're like,
Brian's that guy when you run a kickoff back. Brian's like, yeah, well, we did win the national championship in 2013. Yeah, hey, good call, Brian.
Championship 2013 though.
Hey, yeah.
Man, you remember when that used to happen though? The big momentum changes where we would be on a momentum run and then we get that foul on the press.
Yeah.
Preston Knowles was the king of it. Peyton Siva, Russ Smith.
Brian. I'm watching more games with Brian because as positive as I think I am a lot of times, I need Brian in my life. Like, oh, man,
hey,
Clemson
How
scored.
thankful are you weren't
There
watching
you
that
go.
game with around company that you can't watch games with?
Very much so. Are you talking about Locke and Andy or my father-in-law?
I wasn't talking about anybody in particular. You've had to endure games with company you'd rather not endure games around, right?
Right, yeah.
How happy were you that you were not watching games with other people? Watching that game?
Oh, very. Yeah. I know what you're talking about now.
How did you feel?
I was like,
How did you feel on that kick return?
what I said. I was holding my infant child or my newborn child, and I said, son, they're good. I was like, yeah.
Right?
Yeah, touche. Because that was blocked really well.
You didn't have a shot at that touching that guy.
That's the thing about the kickoff, man. That kickoff return was like, that was blocked really well. But
oh man, I just reset my world when I thought about that, man.
well, yeah.
That was bad.
Of course, I was also thinking that can't happen. Because special teams, man, and Louisville. Look. Let's not act like Louisville on special teams was not superb the other night.
Can't start the game with a kick.
Start the ball.
See, that makes you look unorganized.
Yeah, absolutely did. I mean, the hype, everything's going, but we don't even get a chance to get that first big lick. You know how much it changes things? What if they get it? They're running back and Louisville just bam.
But we didn't even have anybody attacking the kickoff like that.
Well, we didn't even get it. I'm talking that first kick.
Right.
Like that first kick.
Get a shot.
What if somebody just comes down, just pops them, and everybody's like, oh, and you're running around. Instead, it's the ball goes out of bounds. And you're like, what? I mean, look, special teams were not great. I didn't think corners were not great. Safeties I thought were good. I totally disagree with everybody. Everybody keeps throwing the DBs.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
category.
hang on, time out, man. I thought,
but I think that's people who don't
good.
see whose responsibility a certain play was.
I thought Kane Pass. I thought Trayshawn Smith was good. Of course, I'm loved him for a long time. But I mean, I thought the safeties played really well. The corners weren't great, man. Yeah, we're gonna have to. That's another thing I'm gonna be watching. So, but your point you made yesterday too. I think it is time that we start playing. I'm sorry. I know depth is one thing, but I think it's time you start playing starters, man, on special teams. Yeah, I agreed with your point. I was listening to that, and I was like, yeah, no, 100%.
See, and that's the point that I wanted to go into the entire in this Indiana State game.
Yeah.
To me,
and we do have some starters on special teams. I understand.
You have sacrificed the right to protect your health.
Mm-hmm.
You're not good enough. You're not valuable. Once Grenard went down,
yeah,
the only guy on my team who can really protect his health is Juwan Pass.
Yeah, and he's not playing special teams.
Right.
Right.
Everybody else, listen, I watched Virginia Tech. We've been watching football for long enough to remember when it was a thing when Virginia Tech first started saying the special teams eats first.
Yep.
They drink first. Special teams is an honor to make it on the team. You get good. Yeah, and you treated it like it's something, right? And how many games do they win off of punt blocks?
Oh, a ton.
Off of special teams.
It was Beamer ball. I mean, it looked like that the other night too.
Not to mention
they were messing Florida State up.
That's the only way you're gonna make an NFL roster.
They blocked a punt against Florida State the other night that they blocked before. I watched that and I looked straight
right when the line went.
Yeah,
you knew it.
I mean, they
got that one.
It was done. It was done immediately. Like, I mean, it's like, dude,
what good is having 7 deep cornerback competition?
Yep.
What good is having 7 wide receivers that can all play?
Yeah.
If I can't put them on my field and go,
I agree.
And go take a look.
No.
Listen, by the end of the year, you're out of it anyway if these guys aren't making plays on special teams.
Right, dude. You're 100% right on that, man. That is one thing. That's not fake juice either. That's one thing we do agree on.
Listen, Texter Jair got hurt on special teams.
Yep.
Unfortunate.
He did.
Unfortunate.
Yep.
Grenard got hurt on a regular play.
But Jair busted a few games open on special teams too.
Jair's the reason you won 5 games, in other situations.
Well, it's the reason you beat Florida State. I think the way you did that punt return, that was the spine breaker right there, man.
And that's how you get your guys. That's how you toughen up your starters.
Yeah.
Like what I'm saying is that's how you get your starters back into a bunker mentality. Like you almost have to bring them back into just because you start and see this is another problem. It's not a problem. It's a gift and a curse.
Mm-hmm.
Support of a local university.
Yeah.
Criticism of a local university. And oh, man, I love that. I love stiff arming wide receivers.
Oh, yeah.
Here's the thing, Steve. When you are at the University of Louisville and you're a starter, most of the area assumes you have a shot at going pro.
Yeah.
We put people in the community. We put people in the pros when they have a good game.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, people, but this is a fact when you have rabid college fans, when there's no pro sport. Anybody who's a good player, a good starter for a team, your conversation about him going, it's easier to talk about going pro.
Yeah.
I'll say this in a nicer way. No, not a nicer way. I'll say it in a more experienced, mature way. As a young man at this university, if you're a decent player, it's easier to get attention around the campus as being a potential pro, right?
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, a lot of times people fall victim to that, right? And then they find themselves at the end of the senior year realizing they're not on many people's boards at all.
Yeah.
But in this area, people are easy to say, "Oh, he's a starting running back. Yeah, he'll probably go pro."
Right.
And then once that rumor floats around, 95% of the people you talk to on a daily basis talk to you like you're a future professional athlete. Men, women, parents, they treat you and talk to you that way, right?
Sure.
Sometimes, like, the special teams life has got to humble you.
Yeah, I agree with that too.
How many injuries does it take before you say that was stupid?
I mean, how many injuries do you really see on special teams?
See, and that's another thing. Like, when you see the NFL trying to slow down the special teams, you're like, dude, that's not where you're getting injured at. Mm-hmm. Your I can't hit you in the head, so I hit you in the kneecaps when you're coming down from a catch.
Yeah.
Is where your injury comes in.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, for me, the special teams argument is more of
tired.
I'm more worried about just having one of my starters just sprint down the field.
Jalen got hurt on special teams, but nobody thought for 1 second, why is he on special teams? You know why? Because he made tackle after tackle after tackle. He's an all SEC linebacker at Tennessee. That's the reason they were the dark horse to win the SEC, because they had and those guys loved it. Because they were treated, it was treated as something important.
Absolutely.
I really do. I could go to task about the lack of energy on special teams.
No, I agree. That is one thing. If I'm going to be critical, that is one thing right now that I would like to see upped a little bit on Saturday.
We're going to have a little fun on the last segment. Quick commercial break. Midday with Marcus Maben. 8150 93.9 is the number on 93.9 The Ville.
The perfect bank